You know, in Web3, longevity is really the ultimate prize. But how do you build something that actually survives those brutal hype cycles? Well, today, we're going deep on architecting authority. We're going to break down a framework that helps shift the focus from just short-term promotion to building a real, lasting legacy.
So, let's dive right in. In the crazy, fast-paced world of Web3, almost all the focus is on the tech, right? The token, the protocol. Founders are, and you can't blame them, completely laser-focused on building their product.
But here's the thing. The one crucial piece so many founders miss. A great product just isn't enough if nobody believes in the vision behind it. See, building a product might get you users, but building authority, that gets you believers.
This quote just perfectly captures the whole idea. The market doesn't care who's the loudest. It rewards the project that actually shapes the narrative. It's all about becoming the reference point, you know? The voice that defines the entire conversation in your space. Okay, so if just being the loudest isn't the answer, what's the default strategy that so many people fall into? It's something our source material calls the promotion trap.
Does this just feel familiar? A chaotic mess of price charts, roadmap checkmarks, partnership logos? When your entire communication strategy is just a stream of promotional noise, you're not building a narrative. You're basically just running a bulletin board. And that, my friends, is the promotion trap.
And this slide really shows the critical difference. Promotion, it brings in the speculators. That's a community that only cares about price, and it dies the second the hype dies. But positioning, oh, that's different. It attracts believers. A community that's there for your values, one that will outlast any hype cycle you can throw at it.
So, how do you escape that trap? How do you start positioning your project for the long term? Well, it takes a fundamental change in perspective, a change we're calling the architect shift.
This visualizes the shift perfectly. You have to stop sounding like a marketer holding a megaphone and start sounding like an industry architect holding a blueprint. You're not just shipping a product anymore, you're designing a piece of the future. And your communication has to reflect that scale.
So instead of just talking about your wins, you start talking about the industry's problems. You analyze the big macro shifts. You're honest about why some token models just don't work. And you take smart, contrarian positions. This is how you go from being just another project to being a real leader.
Let this one sink in for a second. Content isn't just marketing output. It is reputation infrastructure. Every single post you make is a brick. So the question is, are you building a temporary billboard or a permanent fortress of credibility?
Okay, so theory is great, but how do you turn this idea into something you can actually use? Let's get practical and look at the 40-30-20-10 framework. This isn't just an idea, it's a strategic model for everything you communicate.
This chart just illustrates the balance so well. And just look at that tiny little sliver for protocol updates. Only 10%? The vast majority of your content should be focused outward, on the market, on your process, and on your unique ideas. And here's the breakdown of what those roles look like. 40% of the time you're an analyst, 30% you're a transparent builder, 20% a thought-provoking contrarian, and only 10% of the time are you a promoter. This is how you build trust and reputation at scale.
This quote absolutely nails the psychological shift here. If 80% of what you talk about is your protocol, you look small. But if 80% is about the future of the entire industry, you look inevitable. The content you create tells the world which one you are. Okay, so you've done the work, you've shifted your strategy. What's the actual, tangible payoff for all this narrative and authority building?
And the payoff is real, let me tell you. It's critical for survival. A community built on belief will stick around through a bear market. Investors will trust your vision before you even launch a token. And ultimately, your project becomes way more resilient and valuable because it's built on a foundation of belief, not just some fleeting hype.
And this chart really just says it all. When the market turns south and the hype evaporates, the promotion-only projects watch their communities just vanish. But the authority-led projects, they keep the believers who were there for the vision all along. That is the ultimate payoff. So the question I want to leave you with isn't about your tokenomics or your roadmap. It's about your voice. Are you a promoter, just fighting for fleeting attention in an already noisy market? Or are you an architect, carefully building a legacy that's going to help define the future of this entire industry? The choice is yours.
Subscribe and visit Web3 Newswire for visibility and credibility of your Web3 projects.